can do the podcast with no shirt on, so it'll,
Yeah, that'll.
Energy up. Let's all do it. Let's all go shirtless. Hey, welcome to the Valt Podcast. We are your college culture cultivators. As you can see,
college culture cultivators.
Our culture.
This is Barstool.
Try saying that 5 times. As you can see, we're in a different format, but nonetheless, we're going to bring you some great content today. I'm Sean, and of course, we got joined with
me and Joe. How's it going, everybody?
BJ.
Hey, BJ, how's it going?
Yeah, we're all in different locations. Hey, Robert.
Do we really need to introduce ourselves? Because Joe has us on Google Meets, and our whole government names are all out there. So any anonymity that we had is all gone. Joe, take it away.
Yeah. We're recording via Google Meet today because, as you know, VJ's out and Robert is also out, and so instead of having 2 people on screen today and having Sean and I in the same room, we figured we might as well just experiment and do all 4 of us in different rooms.
I'm reading the scenario right now. I'm sorry, I just started laughing at the second sentence.
Yeah. I don't even know what the second sentence is, but we're gonna get to it. So without further ado, Sean, how has your week been?
My week has been okay. It's been okay. It started off, I came back from Atlanta, watched the football game on Sunday, walked out to one of my cars, and my mirror was gone. So
hit it or should they steal it?
So, it was just gone, and I was like,
it wasn't on the ground.
It was just on the X1.
Okay.
So we're like,
dude, I bet somebody stole it. My sister had this happen, and she found footage of the person, and they drove up in an identical car, missing a mirror, took the mirror off of her car, put it in their car, and then drove away. Like they were just driving around the street looking for another Lexus RX 350 to steal a mirror from.
Yeah, so the family, the family was all panicked about the mirror, and I'm like, wait a second, did you look on the windshield? Oh, let's look on the windshield. Sure, there was a note. I'm sorry, I hit your car. Call me.
Sounds like it's time for some insurance fraud.
No phone number.
So look, I called the insurance people on Monday, and they're like, "Yeah, we want to apologize for our insured driver. She panicked and just took your mirror and wants to know if you want it back."
She panicked?
What'd you say?
I was like, no, she broke it. What are we going to do with it?
Why'd she take it? That's the weirdest shit I've ever heard.
Weirdest thing. But if you saw, like, the handwriting, it was clearly, it was like a kid.
So,
yeah.
But, so, was she trying to, hide evidence? Or is it,
I didn't know because she left a note. I just think it was just sheer panic. An accident on a empty street, but, So that
happened. I had a lady back. There was a college student when I lived on the other side of the UC Berkeley campus, and just when I bought my Acura TLS, that 6-speed shitbox that I had, and I walk out of my apartment one day, and I'm just like, I hear an alarm going off, and I was like, I wonder if somebody hit my car, and I turned the corner, and there's this stupid Cal student there standing, and she just backed straight into my car while it was parked, and she just stood there staring at the car, and I went up to talk to her, and she just didn't say anything. People get really weird when they get in these unexpected.
Yeah, that's dumb. I remember it was 1 to 4 days after you bought the car, right? It was
dude, it was the next day.
Yeah.
It was literally the next.
I remember, wasn't it $7,000 worth of damage? And you paid $5,000 for it or something like that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it would have. It didn't total the car, so I think it was probably $4,500 of repairs. They did. The front bumper, the hood, and they resprayed both fenders. So they repainted the entire front of the car.
Nice. Well,
I don't know how it wasn't more expensive, but yeah. Anyway.
So Sean, besides the mirror, anything else?
Well, let me show you. I did get an update, and I guess with the cool part about technology, I guess in us adapting to technology, I can actually show you my car. So hang on, I'm going to try this.
Wait, did you get a new car?
No. It's just the Benz. Hang on here. Let's see.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, no. Oh, I can't screen share because I'm not an administrator. Never mind.
Well, hold on. Let's see how do I do that?
So what you got to do is you got to mute yourself on your computer, get on your phone on Google Meets, turn your camera around and show it.
worry about it, Joe. We'll save it for next week.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Damn,
Whatever.
Google Meets.
Yeah, Google Meets. Hey, we'll do your thing next. Okay. Well, what's going on with the Mercedes? What are we doing? You can show me in post.
So yeah, we're about 30 days out right now. So the deadline was March 1st. So we actually got the fender flares fitted on there. It's looking pretty good. It's running nice, and yeah, everything looks to be good to go. So I should have it.
Is it getting paint, or is the paint already pretty good?
You know, I'm gonna kind of leave it as is. The paint is okay, and I'm okay with that.
I think that's smart. I feel like you want you can't make. And it's like the interior. Like you don't want to make this thing like so nice that you are scared of driving it. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
You got to be able to like go to a stoplight in the middle of somewhere nearby where I live.
Yeah. And what I thought was like a $15,000.
Yeah.
What I thought was going to be a $15,000 project has quickly turned into $50,000. So.
Has it really been that much?
Yes.
Well, you'll love it. Hopefully you'll love it.
Yeah, I mean, that's like how these go. It's just like you end up doing a lot of like while you're in there things, and then it's like, well, I might as well make this nice and do this well. And what has been the most expensive part of the job?
Having to redo the motor over again.
Oh, because of that makes sense.
Yeah. So a buddy of mine who had the car had his motor rebuilt, and it wasn't built right. So when I put it in, we found out, that the cam was installed incorrectly. There were bunch of issues.
Oh, so the cam wasn't like balanced?
Yeah, so it just literally wasn't installed correctly.
It's a really great way to. That sounds great.
Wow! Of all the things to install,
it literally blew up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Thanks.
But it is what it is. I know a lot of people are in a lot more money than I am at a project. So.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Joe? What's going on with you?
Yeah, I mean, this week has just been work-related stuff. For some reason, I feel like I've been doing a lot of mobile work recently, like a little bit too much. I feel like I'm barely at my shop right now, which is whatever. But like, I'm paying rent on the space, and it's way nicer to detail here. And like a bunch of friends swing by all the time and like hang out, so it's a good time to be here. So I need to promote that more. So that's something I'm working on right now. The second thing, which was negative news, is my accountant told me that I did really well last year. And so I have to have a tax bill for the first time in my life. Usually I'm operating at a loss. So
yeah.
If anyone wants to get a detail. What was that?
So welcome to marriage. Since I've been married, I've never received a return.
It's interesting because I don't really understand how it went. All I know is that I got an email, a cryptic email from my accountant, was like, "Hey, can you have time for a call?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And so he's like, "So congratulations, first of all, and second of all, you're gonna owe this much money." And I'm like, "Nice, okay." So then I started texting all my business owner friends, Neil and everyone. He's like, "Yeah, get used to it. It's just it is what it is." So now I'm navigating through that stuff. It's not that bad, but like it's just annoying. And then another thing that I'm that's kind of interesting is my friend's dad is wanting to sell a C4 Corvette, which isn't really that like fancy or anything, but it has super low mileage and it's super clean. He wanted me to help him sell it, so I've detailed it, and I'm gonna do. Oh, Sean just disliked that. Well, anyway, I don't fit in the car. Like the it's just like a 328 Ferrari.
They have pretty interesting. I'm looking at them right now, but they have interesting dash displays, right? Like their gauges are like a linear, I think. Right?
Yeah.
They have like Japanese rag looking stuff.
Yeah, and you could in period.
That's what it is.
You can get a heads up display in period. This one doesn't have the heads up display, but that's crazy in 91. But this is a full original.
It got really wild.
Yeah. Full original paint. It's Arctic white, which is actually a pretty good color for this car because they're always in red.
Yeah, they are.
So
and they're always fried.
I'm gonna have
That's good paint.
It's great paint. Yeah,
They never have paint.
There's some evidence of like some touch-up spots, but like there hasn't been panels repainted.
That's nice. They're usually fried.
Yeah, they're usually fried. This one has 50,000 miles. He hasn't driven it much, and I'm just gonna throw it up on an auction website for him. But I detailed it. I called Frank to help with some photos because I owe him for some stuff, and he's a great photographer. Yeah, I'm excited to see that go up, and it's fun. It's been a fun process. Like, and also I haven't driven a C4 Corvette, so being able to drive it to Frank for the photos will be kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's
but
fun.
Does it have the turbine wheels?
Yeah,
Turbine
it's a great spec. I'll try to put it up on the video.
It's like pretty original.
It's super original, and it's like an ideal, like if you want to spend like 15 grand and like be a really like kind of impressive Radwood candidate, it's like that's the way to do it. It's very cool.
There's a guy here who brings a C4 to the gym every day.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like that impressive of a car, but it's a cool idea. Like I get why people. As I was detailing it, I get why people want them. I personally probably wouldn't want one, but like in terms of performance, it's probably competing with like a really well sorted 944. And like I'm thinking 944 is better, but I think a C4.
Do you think performance-wise it's similar to a 944, really?
I think like in terms of like performance driving, like I think in power-wise, Corvette's good. But I think in terms of the back roads and stuff, I think you're probably in 944 territory.
And C4s do period racing. I thought they were actually fairly successful.
Yeah, I mean, their suspension technology is just as good as like an E36 M3 was at the time. So like it is good, I guess.
The classic Corvette thing is we just like sometimes kind of laugh at them, and then they're actually really successful.
Yeah, so
in everything they do.
Yeah,
There are leaf springs in the back, right?
I don't know. I'm looking forward to experiencing it because I really want to know because it's a good value proposition. You're getting like what I consider.
These are leaf springs. I don't think are C4s leaf springs.
I doubt it, but I don't know.
I think even C5 had like leaf springs. Like it's independent, obviously, but
I'm sure there are people yelling at us in the comments right now. But like,
yeah, it's a leaf spring.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm excited to drive it. I get why they're cheap, but I also think it's kind of a value proposition because this car is like pretty close to like something you could show at like a Concours. And it's like
pop-up headlights.
And the pop-up headlights flip. Like that,
yeah,
it's crazy,
really cool.
Super cool.
Really cool.
I freaked out when I saw them, but for 13 to 15 grand, like it's a pretty impressive buy.
Pretty cool experience.
Yeah,
right.
It's a cool experience.
I've always been. They also have like a big clamshell front end, don't they? Like when you open up the hood,
the
like
whole
you
thing
see all
opens.
the suspension.
The whole thing opens.
I always thought when I was a kid, I always thought they were pretty cool cars.
You see super wide tires. You see the engine, which looks very like exotic. I mean, it's like it's a cool car. And I feel like this should be worth more.
I feel like if in period they had ZR1s, right?
Yeah, this is not a ZR1, but yeah. And the crazy thing is a ZR1 with like 300 miles goes for 30 grand. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's so wild.
It's amazing. Like it's a value proposition.
Probably a pretty decent experience.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But it'd be hard to buy that over like a C6, C06.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Well, if you want performance driving, you're gonna go to the as much of a Corvette as you can own. But in terms of style, I'm either going vintage or I'm going C4 for sure.
Yeah.
Just
Lotus
sitting
developed their engine, the ZR1 engine. Lotus Engineering developed it.
Oh, really?
The C4?
C4 ZR1 engine alone.
That's why they're worth double.
What is the? I'm assuming is it still a pushrod V8?
I think so.
Lotus
Sure. But like GM acquired Lotus in the late 80s, and then Lotus had an assignment. So
this reminds me that actually one of the ladies we just hired here at my office was talking to her and her husband as a Callaway. So it's
C5.
I don't know if it's a C5 or a C4.
I think
there's a lot of C5 Callaways.
You can get a C4.
Yeah,
Callaway C4s exist, but and the crazy thing is they're like 25, 40 grand.
Yeah,
this is crazy. They're all the same price.
Like, as a kid, that was another thing that I thought. Like for some reason, as a kid, that was like Corvettes were like okay, whatever. But for whatever reason, some piece of marketing like really got in my brain, and I thought as a kid that Callaway Corvettes were like up there with like Halo cars. Like they were like iconic to me.
I mean, their branding is good, and I want this to turn me into like this was a nice experience. Like I want this to be like a good experience driving to like wherever I'm going to go to do photos. I want this to be a good experience so I can like scratch that itch because I've been wanting to get into like 80s, 90s American for a long time. And if I hate this car, then I'll never have to do it again. But if I like it, then I'll know that I like it. You know,
it's very hit or miss in my experience. It's like you might end up with a Chevy Sprint Turbo. You know,
I'm telling you, for the average American, like a Corvette is like the pinnacle of making it, right?
It's so funny.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of wish it was that simple in my life. You know, I wouldn't have to spend so much money on fixing a mass airflow sensor on like my Mercedes wagon. You know, instead of just fucking spend $20. Yeah, no,
don't ever buy a 911. You'll just ruin everything for yourself.
Even worse. But enough about me. VJ, how has your week been?
It's been okay. Getting used to the weather and everything. Good news is back working on making more Valt posters and new merch stuff that Joe has been mentioning. So I have some extra time, so I'm working on designing new stuff for Valt for the new year. Other than that, I'm just waiting for the winter to subside and then car stuff to start. Maybe here in Chicago and Indy, that's going to be probably April when they start the season. So until then, it's kind of like a limbo or like a hibernation for all the nice cars. But interestingly, I saw a McLaren MP412C driving in like extreme snow and salt around Chicago.
Yeah, I was going to say this. Sure,
they're just driving on salt, but I guess it's a carbon fiber type.
It's not a car I would want to risk getting stuck in. Like, McLaren electronics from this era will just like lock you out of your car, key in hand. Like
just bricks and you just die of frostbite or something.
Wow, that's crazy. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's carbon fiber, so it doesn't rust, I guess, the term.
Yeah. There's definitely some metal in there that'll rust.
Yeah, it's probably aluminum, not steel.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it was like sort of weather where my brakes were like going absolutely crazy with the ABS because of all the ice on the road and everything, and I was like, "What's this guy up to?" Like,
well,
Anyway, yeah. Another news: the Peugeot arrived. My company shipped my Peugeot here, and then it was waiting at a friend's place. And after a couple of weeks, I dug it out of the snow, and then it started up pretty much instantly, which shocked me.
Little Peugeot.
Amazing. I did not expect you to say that.
It was in permafrost for 3 weeks, and like I chiseled it out. I had to chisel it out of an
permafrost. You went full paleontologist on this Peugeot.
I had to discover a fossil of a Peugeot. And I put in the key, cranked, and it just started up and spewed a bunch of smoke, and it was running.
The injection system on that car?
Probably CIS.
Yeah.
I'd imagine early 90s is probably CIS.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
But like, how is it starting up? Like, I was like shocked. I thought I would have to call Haggerty, but it just started up. So
it's an old man that won't die. That thing's gonna last forever.
That car is like definitely like a cigarette addict, like a alcoholic, like
for some reason this dude won't die.
Horribly abusive, bad person, but they just won't die.
112.
Its speedometer started making weird noise. Its tachometer was frozen, so it started making a weird noise. But once it warmed up after like 20 minutes, it was fine.
It was great.
Like it's a car. If you just keep driving it, if you don't let it sit for a couple of months, it'll go on forever. It's like
yeah.
But sadly, I drove it through some shitty roads that were damaged by extreme frost and everything, and then its newly welded exhaust fell off.
Oh.
Like it fell, and I had to lift back home with it hanging.
Like it was just dragging.
Yeah, it was
How
like
many hangers?
dragging.
Did you not have enough hangers? Did all the hangers break?
It was brand new. I got a new exhaust like a month ago, two months ago. So apparently they did a bad welding job.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Like it doesn't get
on the road.
Do you think it was just one hanger that fell off, or can you tell like how like
the entire exhaust was hanging off? Like
maybe it just doesn't have a lot of exhaust hangers on it. Maybe it's just
like do welds get frozen and damaged? I don't know.
I guess heat cycling could damage them, right? They could crack if they're frozen, and then you start the car and heat them up really rapidly. It could be easy for those welds to crack, and they probably wouldn't be familiar with welding them very well if it was done in California, because it's not icing in California.
Cheaply, so I guess that's a bad weld. And I have to get it again. But the car is good, so I'm happy. So that's all. Yeah, I think Cayman needs to be washed because it's covered in like 20 inches of salt, so I need to wash that.
Yeah, you want to do that quickly.
Yeah.
Well, it's only 6 months of abuse. You'll be fine.
Yeah, that's it.
Robert, what about you? How's your week been?
Good. I Speaking of Corvettes, actually, we got a split window C2 in this week.
Slightly more valuable.
Yeah, but Corvette stuff, same basic principles.
Are split windows still crazy?
Like 150.
Yeah, you can definitely store that, at my garage if you need to. I have for that.
It's a cute car, and it's really well restored by an existing client of ours. But yeah, work has just been work. Lately, I've been really, I don't know why, I can't get Macans out of my mind for whatever reason. I weirdly really want a all-wheel drive GTS Macan. Ever since I drove, my parents just got a Cayenne E-Hybrid, and it's nice and new, but I drove that car and I was like, man, I really wish this was a 2015 Cayenne, because it's just everything's haptic buttons, everything's screens. It's the same argument everybody always makes. I'm just this doesn't feel like a car. It feels a little bit like an appliance.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was looking into Macans and I was like, you get a 30,000 mile Macan GTS for under $30,000.
Yeah, they're cheap now. The ones without CarPlay are cheap.
Are they trouble?
2015, 2016, 2017. No more trouble in my damn Volvo. The reason I got into this is because my Volvo, I got a anti-skid system failure code a week and a half ago, and it seems like I have some. I assume it's just from use, but my steering angle sensor is throwing codes. I think probably because there's just a bad connection. But the problem is that that just means that all these other systems are probably going to fail in the next 10,000 miles, because once one does,
all the connectors and
suspension.
What was that?
You had some issue with the bushings or something in the front suspension, right?
Oh, I had to just redo. I just had to replace my shocks.
Okay.
So I did
the A-arms?
Shocks and struts up front. Yeah, I did all that a while ago. But this is separate. This is just computer stuff. But in for this Volvo, to replace the steering angle sensor, the Volvo job requires that you replace the entire steering column assembly. So everything forward of the steering column in the car, effectively. So steering wheel, all the stalks, all the plastic surroundings, everything else that's inside the car, and every sensor and every motor and everything else in there. And so you can't just replace one sensor,
Yeah. Do it as a company expense.
That's illegal.
Business expense.
The company does not own that car, so I cannot do that.
As I said, I'm with you on the Macan. They're just as everything as the Cayennes are, except they're not as bulky and cumbersome.
Easy to use, and I don't know. I really want to buy one of those.
What's the engine in it?
E-AAA, right?
There's a 4-cylinder and a 6-cylinder. There's a 4-turbo and an A6 and a turbo 6.
The GTS is a turbo 6, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's 400 horsepower or something like that.
Audi V6 or Volkswagen? What is this?
I think it's a Porsche motor.
Porsche. It's a Porsche motor.
I know the 4-cylinder is an EA-AAA, just a GTI motor that's tuned.
Yeah, the 4-cylinder.
Porsche don't have a V6. It's a Volkswagen engine.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm considering getting a Macan for Ali in 2 years too, a 20.
Yeah, I
2020.
think I'm gonna do it, a 2017 GTS.
I'm gonna reach out to Jake probably in the next year and a half and be if you have any really coolly optioned to 2020 Macans, to let me know.
I literally just did that.
Yeah.
But you want to get a 21?
She's gonna want CarPlay, so it has to be 2018 or newer.
Yeah, we got a 2021. We actually got it from Porsche Marin.
Yeah, Robert froze.
Is it red?
Yeah, it's red. He'll come back when he comes back. But so that was Robert's week. So that brings us into the member Discord finds, which if you didn't know from the last episode, because the audio was so bad, instead of doing marketplace finds and member Discord finds, we're just going to do member Discord finds, and we're going to put more of them in interesting ones. This week, the Discord was lively. So many people were messaging and commenting and posting, so it was really hard to choose these. Jackson came on top. He found 3 that were insane, and Spencer picked 1 too. So the first one, let's see if I can share my screen here.
Hey.
Not a second, Jim. I'm out. Yeah. Anyway, I want one of. That's kind of it. Everything else just worked for me. I don't know if I have any other major updates. Oh, we're already on. All right, I see how it is.
No worries. I was just waiting for you to get back. So anyway, Jackson found this, and I didn't even know it existed. This is crazy to me, but this is a 1939 Peugeot 3-speed 402B, 2.15 liter.
You never seen one of these anywhere?
No, never.
The most memorable aspect of this car is the lights.
I love the lights. The lights are so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I bet you they are horrible at making lights, but
sure.
I guess I love this car. I can't believe there's one on Facebook Marketplace for sale. I don't know anything about it, but that's Jackson's first find. And it's just wild. I guess the fact that there's one in Nevada for sale for $30,000.
This vehicle is paid off.
Good, yeah, it better be paid off for 1939. This is right after the war, or right in the middle of the war.
A long time.
This is just before French cars started becoming crazy innovative.
Yeah,
when Citroën started being crazy.
Yeah. So the next car that Jackson found is a little bit more of the American stuff. It's a 1992 GMC Typhoon.
Always got a soft spot for these.
Pretty interesting car.
Just hard, Typhoon or
Cyclone,
Lightning, yeah, or Cyclone.
Cyclones, yeah.
I feel like
I think they probably want a Cyclone. Cyclones are faster, aren't they?
Is the Cyclone the pickup?
It's a pickup version.
Yeah. This is super rad.
I mean, to be honest, this is completely useless. I would go for the pickup because there's no rear door. So,
wait.
Oh, motor's
but
not.
There's a hatch.
Yeah, but
and it's a salvage.
Yeah, so the motor is broken
Double
and it's salvage for 10. This car's worth $1,000.
Knocking and I'm seeking.
Yeah, it's not how to spell that either. So this is a good example of a car you don't want to buy and you don't want to even know the owner, because this is dangerous.
This needs to be black.
This can't spell knocking.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Some people can't spell knocking. It's not a big deal. So
not buying a car from somebody like that.
Yeah, the next one, more Ford truck stuff. The reason why Spencer picked this one, the reason why I picked this one was because it was a manual, which I think is just funny.
That's pretty cool.
This looks like a
but actually, the funny thing is, if this truck is running, I would trust this so much more than the Cyclone.
Oh yeah, a 302. Look at this.
Like if this thing's running and driving, it's not going to stop.
No, you need to wear a hazmat suit to drive.
Literally not going to stop.
True.
No, yeah, this is one of those like what is it, like overlanding like nuclear war like safety cars. You can just like start this 302 up, probably put some like olive oil in the gas tank and it'll still run somehow.
You just put vodka in
it. Electromagnetic pulse attack. So
this is great for EMP. It's probably carbureted. It's definitely carbureted.
Fill it with anything.
Yeah,
it's probably got like lead paint, so it'll protect you from nuclear radiation.
I like the 2 doors too. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's a cool car. And then the last one,
ambulance doors.
This one caused a lot of stir up in the Discord. I didn't know this existed, but Dodge Rampage. Look at this. What is this? This is crazy.
It's like an El Camino.
It was Dodge's response to the El Camino. Yeah,
it's like a Dodge Omni, but a truck version of it.
Yeah. So this is hilarious.
Yeah. I think isn't it? It literally is, isn't it?
It looks like
in the front end, an Omni front end.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
But
just make some shit as it went along.
Yeah, and we were talking about this in the Discord. Dodge has some of the greatest names of all time for cars, and then just like
Charger.
Yeah, and they just like attach them to like literal garbage. Like the Rampage would have been such a cool.
Their entire marketing is just take something really, really shitty and then make people want to buy it for whatever reason because of the name and the marketing. Like that's their entire company. Yeah. For like 50 years, that's what American automotive manufacturers did.
Yeah.
They had the best cars.
Like they would pretend to innovate, but they wouldn't actually do anything. They'd pretend to innovate when like Porsche was like 40 years ahead of them. And they'd be like, well, we're going to fix it by calling it a turbo hydromatic.
You're right. All these cars sound cool, but they're all pieces of shit.
Yeah.
The Dodge Avenger, the Dodge Nitro.
Yeah.
The Dodge Caliber.
It's too bad.
Even the Neon is a good. I like the name Neon.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all good names. They're all great names, but it's unfortunate. But those are the Discord finds. If you are unaware of the Discord, we have a Discord for members. Link down in the description to become a member if you're interested. We just added a few new members this week, and we are lucky to have them. There's much more involved in the Discord than just like marketplace finds. We do drives, we do evenings out. Next week we're doing a poker night. Like a whole bunch of stuff is happening in the Discord. So link down in the description below, and we hope to see you guys at one of the events soon. So that brings us into the main topic of this podcast, which stemmed off of a conversation that Robert and I had like a month ago or something, about the future of automotive enthusiasm. I think Robert was in like a modern Bentley or something, and he was talking to me about how they're just kind of garbage compared to the old stuff, and the build quality isn't there anymore. And it got me thinking.
Yeah, we were talking about like also just luxury cars in general right now, like what you get for even like $200,000, you know, versus a comparable amount of buying power 20 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, inflation's one thing, but what struck me about the conversation is
I don't mean from inflation. I mean because of manufacturers. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're good. I guess it made me think like what the automotive enthusiast market like 10, 20, and 40 years from now are going to end up looking like when some of the cars that are considered like enthusiast driven cars or like collectible cars are literally like generations old and extremely unobtainable, you know? And like what so
like you can't buy an E36 or you like can't buy an Integra or
anything
like a Civic hatch or something.
Nothing new is being made to replace any of that stuff. So what's going to happen?
Yeah, we were talking about what is like in the last 10 years, what is like a actual car that people will want to buy experientially in like 30 years? That's really
the Toyota, the
DR86.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh yeah.
What's the hatchback?
Corolla.
The Corolla,
Corolla, thank you.
GR Corolla. But Joe, sorry, you had a specific question there.
Yeah, so I just laid out a few questions because just to guide the conversation a little bit, because I think this could just go kind of all over the place. So the first thing I have is essentially what we were talking about. Over the next 10, 20, or 40 years, how does the enthusiast car market change when vintage collectible cars, are straight artifacts of history, unobtainable pieces of material? Do you think that like limits the enthusiast market? Do you think that destroys it when these people who own these cars are dead, or are these cars always going to be sought after? Like, what are you guys thinking?
Robert's the expert.
I don't know if I would be the expert, but we can talk about it.
I would certainly say, after I'd say that the 20, 30 somethings, that are really into these classic cars are, in their 50s and 60s with kids, possibly grandkids of their own, I don't know where car culture is going to go, because again, there's limited replacements for it.
There's just so little accessibility,
Exactly.
So having said that,
I think that.
Oh, go ahead.
I think that like for basically the rest of our lifetime, there will be some amount of automotive enthusiasm because like we and the generation probably after us, maybe a little bit more, but at the very least our generation is like has a fairly significant attraction to all of it.
Yeah.
And I think that the cars, our generation, there will be a subset of our generation that will be wealthy enough to be able to still enjoy those cars and buy those cars. So I think we'll still see them around.
Yeah.
And there will still be tons of stuff transacting. But it's like any other specialty industry that has been around for a very, very long time. Like it eventually becomes so niche that it's unattainable for like new entrants, unless they're really wealthy or they like have access to some experience.
Yeah. I mean, we're almost on the verge of an entire generation not having like any really cool, affordable, attainable cars, based upon, what happened during the pandemic and what's happening right now with car prices.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's a statistic that's been coming out recently that I don't know what it was, but some percentage of people under the age of like 25 that don't want to get a license or like don't think that they will get a license in the next 5 years.
By the drive, based on a very small sample size. They surveyed 250 people and then gave this survey results.
On Instagram?
Yeah. That was not
okay,
good.
Well, that's a bad
someone
stat.
called it out. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's cool.
But then, like, the reality is there's, like, a trend of, stagnating income or, like, actually reducing income compared to prices of everything. And people are, like,
luxury
entering their 20s with a huge amount of debt, whether it's education debt or, like, the lack of ability to have the purchasing power for a house. So, like, cars become, like, extreme luxury items, like the cost of repair, cost of parts, cost of labor, insurance in California for a new registration, like, for a person who is, like, in their early 20s. So it's absolutely insanely expensive, especially for sporty sort of vehicles.
Yeah.
So, like, the attainability is, like, at an all-time low because of the stagnation of wages compared to the cost of everything else in life. So that's the reality. So it's, new car enthusiasm is definitely becoming limited because of that as well. Like, the companies, like, in terms of prices they're offering, they're, like, not super expensive compared to what they were, like, 20 years ago, but wages have not kept up with that.
Yeah.
That's a big problem.
No, I was going to add in another piece. That's a great point, Vijay, to my point. And that's, we have a generation of electric cars that nobody wants.
I know everybody asks this question all the time. What the fuck are they going to do with all these cars in like 20 years?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're unsellable.
Yeah.
I mean,
so what? Having said that,
there's recycling and stuff.
Yeah. Like, what do you think? What do you guys think? Like, the last generation of cars that will be collectible is at all? I'm under the impression that
it's
2010s.
Sorry, go ahead.
2010s.
Early 2010s, like, until BMW went turbo, everything.
Yeah. So then what happens? I mean, do these newer cars just get trashed, or like what do you think? I mean,
this is an interesting thing. I've seen it. So actually, there was Doug recently on his podcast was talking about the 12 cylindry from Ferrari and how, like, even Ferrari is having a very hard time selling their non-base allocation cars. Like, they've been trying to push that car on a bunch of other people, and, like, people that wouldn't initially get that allocation are getting it. But even now, we're seeing a decline in interest in some of these luxury performance and enthusiast cars, which is really interesting.
Like, have you guys even seen any new Revueltos? Like, are people even... Revueltos have been out for, like, I don't know, a couple of years.
Same with SF90, right?
I've seen one Revuelto.
I've never seen a Revuelto on the road.
I've seen one ever, and it was in the North Bay. Joe, I don't know. I mean, it's a tough question because there's always going to be. I mean, I think there's like little pieces of interesting cars here and there, and, like, these manufacturers are still, like, McLaren's making the W1, and, like, GMA, the T50, and all the GMA cars are, like, unbelievable, and all these, like, small equipment. These, like, small manufacturers making Neras and, like, all those things are, like, that. The thing is, I think what is going to be really collectible from this time in our life is going to be shit that nobody can afford in the future. It's just going to be the uber wealthy.
Yeah.
Like, all of the naturally aspirated Porsches are still...
I think Porsche is the only company that's doing anything that is going to be enthusiastic in, like, 40 years. That's my next question, just to keep this moving.
And, like, hot hatches, I can see, like, hot hatches.
But, like, the hot hatches of... Yeah, they're still doing fine, I think. But, like...
It's like me buying a Cayman in 2020, which was a car from 2010-11.
Yeah.
So like, the last generation of combustion Cayman Boxsters are going on right now. So 10 years from now, those will be, like, kind of, aspirational things. The last generation of that, combustion based. Yeah, because it's going to be electrified soon, like the Boxster.
Yeah. Which is going to kill. That's going to kill the Boxster name.
Yeah. I think there will also be a spot for V8s.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Like an old big Mustang,
Yeah. Any big V8, I think there'll be a spot.
Yeah, the new Mustang's still really good. Like, the Dark Horse is getting a lot of good reviews. Although the interior stuff, it's all, like, super video gamey, but the driving experience is still pretty good apparently. So,
definitely.
It's still sticking to that.
The Porsche Panamera Cross Turismo
Maybe
no longer exists.
Yes,
No longer exists. But the
Okay.
Porsche, no, wait, the
Panorama, the twin turbo V8.
The Panamera e-hybrid Turbo S is a twin turbo V8 hybrid, and I think that's crazy.
Yeah.
Porsche just launched a new V8 power plant in a car this year.
Yep, that's cool.
That was cool.
That
I was like, what?
And that's a wagon, right?
It's a hybrid.
Are they doing
I think they stopped. The Panamera is no longer available as a Cross Turismo, but you can get a Panamera with a V8.
Yeah, but,
now.
But
If you spend $200,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hybrid.
You want the wagon. You don't want the sedan.
Yeah, I know.
It was like last month, it was like one still available in the country for like $190,000, $186,000.
Crazy thing is, they depreciate. Panameras depreciate like crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, Joe. Sorry, you've been trying to get to the other question.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, what? So, are there any brands do you think that are going to become collectible, like at all, besides Porsche? You think in the next 40 years, besides like the outliers? Because like I consider like GM80 like a Chisetta or something that just doesn't matter
cars
anymore.
Cars that aren't like $600,000 plus.
Yeah. Like anything, because BMWs, they've lost. I mean, the M2CS came out, and that was basically it at that point. That was like the last one for BMW.
Yeah. M5 CS was also good.
Yeah, but will it be collectible with all-wheel drive and an automatic? You know,
Mm-hmm.
maybe it might.
I mean, the other thing that's going to kill the flexibility of a lot of these cars is like computer systems and battery systems, because like you can remanufacture parts for collectible cars from the 60s because it's like mechanical stuff, you know. But like in 50 years, when the entire computer system is like no longer being used anywhere because it's just useless. Like, who's going to go just rebuild like an entire batch of screens and like ancient lithium-ion batteries that suck, you know?
Yeah.
It's,
I am
Their
interested.
tech moves so fast.
Yeah.
The tech moves so fast on that segment.
Yeah, it's not. It's
become obsolete.
nothing like what it used to be, at least. I'm curious. I'm curious to see what happens.
What do you guys think?
Canadian cars will take a bigger share of the classic car market. It's from
Yeah. I mean, like even like
a lot of people hedging that.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's we're probably seeing that more because we just never had them. But like in 40 years, I think we'll definitely get more because I think there was more variety that you could pick from that was cheaper.
I'm really trying so hard to think about a car that's on the market, like Civic Type R.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, it does it differentiate itself enough from like the previous generation, you know, to become collectible.
Like I'm trying to think of cars like a gated Murcielago, you know, like that is now around getting close to its 20-year mark. It's at its 20-year mark now, and it's really about that. By the way, if anybody has like $700 to $1 million to spend on a car as an investment, like do that. Buy a gated Mercy.
They're all owned by Ed Bullion now. He's bought all of them.
Yeah. But anyways, like I'm trying to think of a car like that.
Could like a Lotus,
like a
Lotus,
in like the 100 to 200 range now.
Like a Lotus, maybe.
You know?
996 GT3.
Yeah,
I think Lotuses could do it.
Yeah, I mean, like the whatever the new one is with the exposed gear linkages, that's a cool idea, and I could see that becoming a valuable car at some point.
Are there any 991 GT3s that are between 100 and 200? 991 GT3s, like those are like.
Yeah, no, they all are. The .1s, 991.1 GT3s, they're
those are
only.
Yeah, so those are
like
auto
only. Sorry.
Yeah, the .1 RS was auto only, right? Or both of them. Those are between 100.
They're like mid hundreds. They're actually an incredible value prop. If you're
they haven't moved at all.
So those motors blow up.
Because they sold so many of them.
Yeah.
They have the motor issue, I thought, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
.2s are probably more than 200.
Yeah.
I don't know. RSs?
No, base. GT3.
No, you can get .2 991s under 200.
I should probably get one.
Tourings, I think Tourings are like in the low to mid twos still, but I think let me look.
Yeah, they just sold so many. Like people think they're super expensive, but they just sold so many.
Yeah, I mean, especially in this area.
That I would.
Every Cars and Coffee has like 20 of them.
Yeah, 20 of them. Well, so what else? Any closing remarks on this before we get into the scenario? What do you think the car market looks like? Jaguar, yeah. You gotta buy the new Jaguar, whatever the
F-Type
the refrigerator or whatever. Yeah, that could be actually the F-Type R could be a good one to buy.
SVR,
like the OG, like a 2016 F-Type R, would be good.
Yeah, I'm into F-Types.
Yeah.
Corvette C7.
I'm F-Type curious.
Or a C4 if you're interested in spending $15,000. Let me know.
Dude, 991s, I guarantee 991 GT3s are great buys. Look at how many of these are under 200. I mean, the median on the graph is under 200 still.
I'll buy it and drive it on salt. The Dot 2, 14K mile Dot 2 is only 150. Wow.
Yeah, you can get them there. You can really find them.
Yeah,
like it's really only low mile cars, Visoc Pack RSs, and Tourings that are.
Dot 2s are bulletproof, basically.
Yeah, they're really good cars. Because it was the first time Porsche had this like massively failed issue for 15 years, and they were like, "Oh God, we got to fix that." We're gonna.
I really want a 997 more than a 991. 997 Dot 2 GT3.
Yeah.
You want a Dot 2 997? Would you get a Dot 1 GT3?
Yeah, Dot 1's also fine. Like the real Musker. That's
They're pretty fun.
You want to drive one? I mean, you can get. I mean, there's a lot of value in those.
Yeah, Dot 2
it's a lot more.
So expensive. I mean, we bought one for a client for $218, a Dot 2 GT3 with 7,000 miles on it. And that's just like that's. So you can still get them in like the mid ones. We sold them recently for $160 and change, but it had like $20,000 of parts that came with it. So I'd say you can get them in the mid to low ones still, or get a driver, and that's a hell of a deal for $120,000 to $140,000 for that car is like mega.
Feels like a real GT car because 991 feels a little too easy and light and everything. The controls.
I know. I said it on different podcasts actually that I thought GT3s were a little bit boring and mundane, but then every time I drive one, okay,
spectacular.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what do you think? We're talking about Porsches. Is there anything else that's going to be like? What happens to the collector market when we're all retiring? What happens?
Yeah, when we're all retiring, we're not going to be able to afford any of the collector cars anymore. Well, actually, I don't want to speak for you guys. I'm not going to be able to afford any of the collector cars I want.
Yeah.
Look at my garage right now.
You already got
you got to fix that up.
Just, I don't know, dude. I really don't like. I'm just going to lust after, like, by that point, like Derek will have like drilled into my brain that I want like a 1907 like steam powered wood wheel thing.
You want to be like Mickey Mouse before he was Mickey Mouse.
Like with the fuel pump operated by the hand.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like we're all gonna stick to the like pre-2015 stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there's not really gonna be anything past that point for me.
Yeah, but that's the scenario. So basically, it's 2065 now, and it's time to retire. You've been saving for goddamn 50 years for this moment. You decide to treat yourself to one car that you've been lusting after since 2025. You remember seeing the reviews of it in period and can't wait to get behind the wheel of one. What is the car? The rules, there's two separate questions. The rules is your first car to spend the money on has to be 2024 or 2025. So it has to be a brand new car in period that you're seeing now that you're lusting after. Your budget, considering, let's just say you've been very diligent in saving and you've been successful in life. So your budget is $250,000 to $500,000 to spend on this car.
In 2065, $250,000 to $500,000 would be like the price of gas.
Exactly. So figure it out. That's what you have to do. You have to figure this out. So that's question number one. Let's start with that. Sean, what are you doing in 2065 for $500,000?
Dude, if I'm still alive, dude, the last thing I'll be worried about is a freaking car.
He's still here, baby.
I'll be looking at freaking wheelchairs by then, like.
Fair enough.
You'll get more parking spots that way.
But I'll play along anyway. A car that I would probably lust after. for about $200,000.
Between 2 and 5.
Between 2 and 5.
That's right now, right? Like the price of the car right now is that much.
You know, just to be easier, let's just do that, because adjusted for inflation, 40 years from now, 250,000 is going to be like 100. So, yeah, let's do today's dollars.
Ooh.
New today for something in that price.
And it has to be new. It has to be 2024, 2025 car.
Oh, that's good. If somebody else wants to go before me, somebody has something that comes to mind, please.
I think I'm going to go.
That has to be a current car.
A current car, brand new, like
brand new on the market.
2020.
There's only one car worth that money today. That's valid.
What is it?
Yeah, I know.
911 ST.
That's too easy. That's too easy.
I was going to say 911 GT3 Touring. So
ST.
ST is probably a better choice.
That's the only answer.
There are actually people paying more than $500 for those cars, which is.
But MSRP.
I
MSRP 3.
have no comment.
You know, I could see myself. I think it's going to be Porsche for me, unfortunately. I could see myself as a retirement gift to myself buying like a 2024 or 2025 Boxster Spider RS 4-liter.
Yeah, that was my thought. Was a GT4 RS.
But it's automatic though.
You can't get a manual on those.
No. The RS.
They came in
Boxster
4S as a manual now, or no?
No, they're only automatic. The GT3 engine came in Boxster as automatic only.
Okay. Well, I want the open top, so I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go Boxster RS Spider 4-liter.
Very Matt Farah of you.
Yeah, I just think that's a good retirement car. Like open top, all the noises, comfortable enough probably, and cool. And
I mean, they're so cool.
Yeah, it's a cool car.
I mean, we're such Porsche snobs.
I mean, what else is it? What else is there right now? Like a GR Corolla or something? I don't know. Like there's something else.
I'll probably go I'll go LC 500.
Yeah, but like for that much money, you can spend $500,000.
Max it out and option it out.
It's like $185.
Yeah, crazy. Color and everything.
Yeah, I mean that's a good car. It's a good.
That's
car.
a good retirement car.
It's a great. It's like way better than mine. Way better than mine for retirement.
Dude, I just like every car that comes to mind is like, oh shit,
I'll get a
2015. Oh shit, that was made in 2012. Like,
fully optioned Fisker Ocean.
Yeah,
for $18 and $25.
$18, yeah, a cup of coffee.
Or like a VinFast VF8.
No, $19.
But if you were to answer seriously, what are you guys picking?
Porsche.
Yeah,
I really want to say something Aston Martin, but like I just don't know. I like it's not 10 years ago. I could say that maybe in some confidence with like a
maybe like a DB12 Superleggera, one of those things.
Yeah, I think they're pretty handsome cars. I just like don't. It's just not
well,
it
812 is
for me.
812 is more than 500,000 now, right?
Yeah.
812
Yeah.
would be.
I think Aston Martin is making some of the best looking cars. It has some of the best paint out there. The whole works, but God, it's
I
just
don't want them.
track record for depreciation. It's just not
Yes.
good.
Yeah. Oh God, that's so hard.
Whoa.
I don't even want to answer this, man.
So you don't have to answer them. Follow-up question. Now we're removing your constraint. Same budget. Any car that you could possibly think of between 250 and 500,000. What are you choosing to retire with? Any car? Any era. 250, 500,000 in today's dollars to retire with.
Where I have to live with it just for the rest of my life.
That's your retirement.
Wait, how much is a Stratos?
More than 5.
The Dodge Stratos?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more than $5. And this is funny, and this might be a recency bias thing for me. And I'll probably change my mind if you ask me this question tomorrow. But I've driven a couple Boxers this year, or last year, I guess, and I really don't know why. But it's like really a similar platform to the Testarossa and the TR that came after it. And Testarossas and TRs drive just like unimaginably better, or TRs do. But for some reason, I think Boxers just look amazing. Like their profile is just so good. I think.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's because they're gray market cars and I didn't see them that much as a kid, and I think they're cool now. But that might be up there in my like a really, really good carbureted Boxer.
Yeah, I might get a V12 enthusiast dogleg 7-speed manual.
Yeah, that was my other.
Dogleg 7-speed. Yeah. Short gears V12.
For some reason, I just need a V12. I think it has to be a V12 for me if it's not going to be from this era.
And then gated Mercy. That's more than the rest.
Yeah, gated Mercy is too much, but you could get a gated Gallardo or a good Diablo.
I'd be torn. Besides going with the obvious, maybe a nice A12, a GTS, or maybe even a Mercedes a Black Series, a GTR.
You should get the older one.
I mean, a Porsche is too easy, right?
Yeah.
The Porsche is
SLS Black Series?
Yeah.
Or I don't know if those are under 500 still.
I think they
You
dropped
get the
that.
SLS.
SLS.
Don't get
Yeah, it's
the gull-wing doors.
a good buy. Yeah.
Are those under 500, the blacks, or just the standards? The standards are, for sure. I thought the Black Series were had really good.
Black Series probably 700, 800 maybe.
I thought they came down a little bit.
Those cars kind of came out and just never really went down.
Yeah.
I agree, though. SLSs are cool. They're just so much cooler than AMG GTs.
Yeah.
Listed between 380 on up.
It's doable. It's doable. Yeah, I mean, I think my heart is telling me that I want to go an okay example of an M1 because I just like the way those look and you never see them.
Yeah, that's a good.
I just think it's a cool car. I think I'm going to stick with that right now. I mean, I'm sure my just like you, Robert, my answer would change tomorrow, but right now, an okay example, like $400,000 to $500,000.
That's a really good price range right now because it gives you it's not you can't be McLaren F1, but it gives you enough leverage to
be creative
to buy something that's really pretty cool. I think.
And I think an M1 is severely undervalued. I think it's a really cool car that never exists anywhere. So I think it's a good way to park money too if you want to just experience something fun and probably not spend too much money in the long run. When you die.
I don't think even with an infinite budget, I wouldn't want a McLaren F1 over a Tuttle 911K maybe.
Yeah.
You wouldn't?
Have you
You'd rather have a Tuttle?
Yeah. Have you seen
those for
driving?
some money and then go have a $20 million McLaren F1?
I mean, I don't care about the value. I just want the experience. I think the Tuttle is a better experience than the McLaren.
But you haven't driven either of them.
I just think from
you need to drive both of them before you say that.
Joe, a street legal M1 Pro car, that would be money.
You could probably buy it. M1.
It's so painful to drive that anywhere.
Oh my god, yeah. I could just imagine an M88 with 500 horsepower being probably the most undrivable thing in the universe. Because the 828 M5 is hard to drive in traffic, so I couldn't imagine having double power.
I bet that motor is just such a pain.
It's probably about to blow up at every moment, but it would be really fun and cool, and it would sound awesome. It would shoot flames and stuff.
It's those minis, the Mini Coopers you see at Goodwood that have I think they have 6-hour run times or something like that before they explode.
Sean has experience with that.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, aren't all classic minis 6-hour run?
Yeah. But yeah, any closing remarks before we close this hopefully looking good and sounding good episode of the podcast?
The farther away we are, the closer we get, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll be calling you guys from China next week.
Are you going out there next week?
No, not to China.
Not too much.
No, I'm kidding. I meant because we'll get really close if we're really far away.
Yeah, but at least two of us will be back. I mean, I'll be back in the studio next week, just because I like being in the studio. But without further ado, I think we'll close it out. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the podcast if you're new. We have new software now, and so we are going to be starting to live stream some of these episodes very soon, probably within the next month or two, once we really get this down. So yeah, that's it. Without further ado, we'll end it. See you next week on another episode. Take care.
Later.